That time again for pull hypertrophy days, so I'm doing some back, some biceps, and some traps. I mostly capture a lot of my back work just because I do a lot of my arm and shoulder work on Saturday. So I actually start off with some pull-ups, did some windshield wipers, did some close grip, regular conventional pull-ups, nice and controlled slow movements, just to help out with getting some blood volume into the actual area of the back before actually hitting some rack pulls. Typically I don't do this, but I'm probably going to start incorporating this just to help out with pre-exhaustion work, getting a good stretch into that area of the back. See if that actually helps improve the lift as I get deeper into the workout. And some people are actually using the squat rack where I typically do rack pulls, so I kind of had to reedify how I was able to do my workout. So I actually did some of this and I actually felt really good as far as getting a warm-up. And I think that's kind of a misconception, is that if you don't go straight into those power lifts, you're going to actually lose strength without doing some pre-work. But I actually found the opposite. When I actually did some rack pulls, I felt really good just because I had a lot of good blood volume in there. I actually had a lot of circulation in there already, so I actually didn't have to warm up as much into my working set. So I'm doing 315 for reps and just really trying to really get proper form, proper movement. And this is a different angle. I got 375 within this movement as well. I had to use some straps, just my grip is just not feeling it this week, but felt really good as far as this particular lift. I actually had to just readjust and get back into the lift. So that's just a little bit about the rack pulls, and then I went right into T-bar rolls. This is a really good exercise just to help out with the thickness of the back. And you know, I typically don't use straps. I may start incorporate them later on as I get deeper into my building phase, just because I want to put a lot more emphasis on the back and build up that thickness and try to take less emphasis off the bicep. And then I go right into rack chins. This is another great exercise, something that I saw back in the days with Lane Norton and Tommy Jeffers, and how that's supposed to help out with the thickness of the back, just kind of hitting the back in a different angle. So this really does help with spicing it up as far as rows are concerned. It's almost like a cross between a row and a pull-up. So that just helps out with that overall thickness of the back. And so I actually did a weighted plate, 45 pounds, and then I actually go straight into a shrug, but I actually don't film that part in this video. And then I go into the upright row with the hammer strength machine. Really good exercise just to put a lot of volume and isolation in the back, just to help out with another rowing aspect. I feel like the width of my back is pretty good when I'm actually doing a lat spread. I think that's one of my strongest points when I come to the stage. So I really want to build up the thickness of the back now. So I'm really trying to incorporate a lot of rowing exercises. So right now I'm actually doing some good old some curls using the cables. This is a really good exercise just to help isolate the peak of the bicep, just to help out with getting a lot of volume in there, isolating it. So I'm just doing some easygoing reps, nothing crazy as far as this is concerned. I actually go right into hammer strength shrugs, but I actually don't film that. It's all the way across the gym, so for me to film that, it definitely would look a lot shaky on the camera. But I actually do another set. So typically on my hypertrophy days, I really go off of feel. I don't necessarily go for a certain amount of reps. I go more for getting the right proper weight to hit a good fatigue into the muscle. Even if I have to drop set, superset, tricep, bicep, I mean, there's multiple ways to get a lot of volume in without spending hours in the gym. So that's what I typically do. I really do try to tie in a lot of different muscle groups But like I said, I really try to put a lot of emphasis on the back as well. So here's a little bicep pose as I'm getting some blood flow in there. And then I did some preacher curls. So one nifty tip that I found is really necessary to help elevate this lift, to really put a emphasis on the biceps, is I actually lean into the preacher curl. I don't actually sit down. It takes out the back momentum as well, so it really just puts a lot of more isolation on that movement. And so my last movement is actually some strength, hammer strength shrugs. And you're probably noticing on the top of the video there is my pre-workout, so I'm actually going to do a video review on that with Infinite Mass, some of the clothing line and the pre-workout. But if you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. I'll definitely address them and reply. Thank you so much for all your support and following this video. Thanks. Bye-bye.